Do you think it's possible to steal the composition of a famous painting like Nighthawks by Edward Hopper and in turn create our own famous painting? Probably not, but it's fun to find out, so let's give it a go. But before we do that, let us dive a little deeper into the artist and the art. Edward Hopper was born in July 1882 to an America that was shifting from an agrarian society to an urban manufacturing powerhouse. People were getting used to light bulbs and looking good wearing Levi jeans. Such a time to be alive. For most people.
Yikes!
Hopper didn't have to worry about any of that. Growing up in the state of New York, overlooking the Hudson River, spending his childhood watching boat races, and in turn, building his own. Hopper... I can't keep saying Hopper without thinking Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
In later years, the artist trained as a commercial illustrator and ended up in the New York School of Art in the year 1900, which is just in time for the first motorized vacuum cleaner, but a little too early for Fight Club posters and Pop-Tarts. It's not really relevant to his art, but he was 6'5" and apparently very skinny. As such, he was nicknamed Grasshopper by school kids, which I assume was while he was in school and not leering over the gates like some kind of Slender Man. He started gaining success as a painter between 1910 and 1920. From that point, he flourished. Unlike the world, which was going through some growing pains at that stage. All of this accumulated in perhaps his most famous artwork, Nighthawks, which he painted in 1942, and is what we are planning to steal today. At the bare minimum, it is a simple oil painting of 4 individuals sat in a bar late at night. But it is an odd painting. It feels eerily quiet. A fish tank exposed to the street. I feel a bit of a creep just looking at it. Like, why am I the only person on the street? It genuinely feels like I'm stalking these people. On a higher level, the painting is widely regarded as an expression of wartime alienation and separation, and it's easy to believe why. Painted in 1942, Europe was already in high gear for the second time, and America had just joined the war in 1941. Many Americans remembered the First World War, and now they were being pulled into a bigger, bloodier war that majority of people didn't want. It's this resignation that you can really feel in the painting by the way that nobody's interacting with each other. They look like they are at first, but upon closer inspection, they aren't.
Take the couple next to me. They're nearly holding hands, but they ain't. Not in like a fun first date kind of way, but in a boring, we've been married too long and probably should have got a divorce kind of way.
It's hard to imagine this street ever busy, despite it being New York. The shop fronts are empty apart from a lone cash register and an advertisement. Even the apartments above the shops, likely to be inhabited, the curtains aren't even closed. Who sleeps like that? In spite of all this emptiness and loneliness, the painting has become perhaps one of the most influential works on modern media, inspiring copies from the likes of The Simpsons, End of Violence, Batman, Blade Runner, and countless parodies. In fact, if you Google any famous show and Nighthawks, someone has made a parody of it. The painting resonated to a population in the 1940s and continues to resonate with us today. The feeling of loneliness and disconnection still plagues us and is an enduring human condition. But what I really want to know is how he achieves it so that we can steal it. I don't want to just study the composition and then copy it one to one. I want to understand how the artistic decisions strengthen the theme of the painting. Then I want to steal it. It's ethical stealing. First thing we notice are, of course, the people in the diner. Our eye is automatically drawn to them. Why though? Because they are framed very cleverly between the intersection of 2 large masses, at which all lines converge. Even if the bar was completely empty, I still think your eye would be drawn to that portion of the painting. The second thing we become aware of is the starkness of the painting. It's empty. The only life we see on the canvas is huddled in one tiny section, and it's this lack of that actually makes us feel more alone. You search the surrounding scene for signs of life, but it's so scarce that it just confirms your loneliness. Thirdly, of course, is the disconnect. It's only on close inspection that you realize the people in the bar aren't engaging with one another, as you would expect. This isn't Cheers. This feels more like the wake of someone that wasn't very well liked. Alright, with those main points identified, let's see what we can come up with. Edward Hopper was always very precise with his paintings. I, unfortunately, am not so precious with mine. You should never try to replicate an artist's style, it's considered tacky. So the lessons that we've learned from Hopper, I will be implementing in my own way that feels genuine to me. Apologies in advance. So how do I create a focal point without framing it in the same way that Hopper does? Well, maybe lazily. I have shone a spotlight on my focal point, the illumination of a TV screen, just out of frame. Like Hopper, I have created a stark environment, just a couch and a couple in an otherwise empty room, some small details to build the world, some intrigue for the eye to find, a small nod to Nighthawks in the hallway, and a phone charging plugged into a wall. But whose phone is it? The couple on the couch at first glance seem to be watching TV. They're pointed right at it. The woman laying down might be looking at her partner, but upon closer inspection, you see that they are both on their phones. Maybe they are both looking for the follow button or commenting on this video. And that's it. That's my response to Edward Hopper's Nighthawks. What a lot of fun. That didn't sound like I meant it. That was a lot of fun. Let me know what you enjoyed about this video so I can focus on making more content like that. Bye! Oh, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you. Bye, 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 bye.